Let's be honest. You don't check your phone. Your phone checks you. You don't decide when to open it. The sound decides for you. You say you're in control, but when was the last time you went 2 hours without touching it? You don't even remember, do you? Part 1. The hidden addiction. They call it a smartphone. But the truth is, it's smarter than you think. It knows when you're bored, when you're lonely, when you're insecure, and every time you open it, it rewards you. A like, a message, a tiny hit of dopamine. They built it that way, so you'd stay. And you did. Part 2. The moment of realization. You wake up, and your hand moves before your eyes even open. You don't reach for water. You don't stretch. You reach for the screen. And for a second, it feels comforting. Until it doesn't. Because one notification leads to 10, and suddenly, the morning sun feels like a distraction from the real world inside your phone. Part 3. The guilt that creeps in. You scroll, 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 but deep down, you feel it. That quiet, guilty voice whispering. You said just 5 minutes, but 5 minutes became 50, and you don't even remember what you were looking for. You weren't searching for information. You were searching for escape. And that's what hurts the most. Part 4. The life you're missing. While you were watching strangers live their lives, your own was waiting. The coffee went cold. The morning passed. The day slipped away. And when you finally looked up from your phone, nothing had changed except the time. You didn't lose a moment. You lost yourself. Part 5. The mirror moment. Stand in front of a mirror for just 10 seconds. Look at your eyes. When was the last time you were really there? Not thinking about likes, not checking messages, just you. You say your phone connects you to people, but it's the reason you've disconnected from yourself. Part 6. The anxiety loop. You feel it, right? That tiny pull every time your phone lights up? It's not curiosity, it's anxiety. And the moment you ignore it, your brain screams, "Check it. What if it's important?" But it rarely is. It's just another trap to keep your mind busy and your heart empty. Part 7. The reality check. You say you're too busy to meditate, to walk, to read, but you've scrolled for 3 hours today. You say you're too tired to chase dreams, but never too tired to scroll one more reel. Maybe it's not time you're lacking. It's control. Part 8. The silent damage. You don't feel it, but it's changing you. Your attention span is shrinking. Your patience is fading. Your sleep is worse. Your confidence is tied to a piece of glass. And when it's gone, you feel empty. That's not normal. That's dependency. Part 9. The 24-hour challenge. So today, just try. One day, no phone. Turn it off. Leave it in another room. You'll feel the withdrawal, the restlessness, the boredom. That's your brain detoxing from overstimulation. But after a few hours, something happens. You start to breathe slower. You notice the world again. You feel time moving, not rushing. And for the first time, you'll realize the world didn't stop without your phone. But your mind finally started. Part 10. When silence becomes loud. By evening, the silence grows louder than any ringtone. You keep checking pockets that don't vibrate. Your mind whispers, "Just once won't hurt." But it's not about checking, it's about choosing. Choosing yourself over distraction. For the first time in years, you sit in quiet. And it's almost painful. But that pain is healing beginning. Part 11. The mirror of productivity. You start noticing how much time you used to lose. Every scroll, every refresh, every meaningless reply. Now those hours return to you. You read, you think, you plan, you do the things that actually build life, not noise. You realize productivity isn't about working harder. It's about removing what steals your focus. Part 12. Reconnecting with real life. Someone calls your name, not from a notification, but from across the room. You look up and you smile. The conversation feels richer, the laughter more real. You're not half present anymore. You're here. You start to remember what connection really means. Part 13. The Emotional Detox. That tiny glowing screen had been numbing emotions. Now, feelings return, both good and bad. You feel boredom, joy, loneliness, gratitude, raw and real. And you learn that emotions aren't enemies to escape. They're signals to listen to. Without distraction, you finally start to hear them. Part 14. The guilt turns into discipline. The guilt you felt earlier, it begins to shift into discipline. You start to see your phone as a tool, not a trap. You make rules, small, personal, powerful. Check messages 3 times a day. No phone during meals. Screen free. 1 hour before sleep. They sound small, but they build something huge. Control. Part 15. The battle of old habits. The next day, you slip. You check again and again. And guilt hits hard. But this time, you don't stay there. Because awareness is already working. Breaking addiction isn't a switch. It's a slow sunrise. Darkness doesn't disappear. Light just grows stronger. Part 16. The power of boredom. You stop fearing boredom. You realize it's not emptiness. It's space. Space for ideas. Space for peace. Space for you. The world that once felt too small now feels endless again. Part 17. The awakening of focus. You notice your mind healing. You read without drifting. You think deeper. You finish tasks that once felt impossible. You start winning small battles of focus. And those victories rebuild confidence. You aren't chasing dopamine anymore. You're earning clarity. Part 18. The real reward. You once opened your phone for validation. Now you open your eyes for truth. You stop needing hearts and likes because you already feel something stronger. Self-respect. That's the real notification you've been missing. Part 19. A life rewritten. You now schedule phone time like meetings. Intentional, limited, respectful. Morning belongs to focus. Evening belongs to peace. Your phone waits, it doesn't control. You've turned technology into a servant, not a master. Part 20. The gift of presence. You start seeing moments again. Your child laughing, your parents talking, your coffee steaming in quiet sunlight. You realize you weren't living. You were scrolling through life. Now, every moment feels sacred because presence is the rarest luxury left. Part 21. The final lesson. You'll still use your phone, but now you'll use it with purpose. Not to fill silence, but to create meaning. Not to escape, but to connect. And that's how you win this invisible war. One conscious moment at a time. Part 22. Closing message. Put your phone down right now. Not forever, just for 10 minutes. Step outside. Look at the world. It's still here. It's always been. You just forgot to look. And maybe today is the day you start living again.